The desire to live out of your dark feminine energy is actually another layer of the ego identity, because whenever you are trying to learn something, you're acting more out of a mind-based creation, which is an identity, which a true divine feminine, which also lives in her dark feminine, is embodied. It is integrated. And what is here actually the difference between a false and ego-based dark feminine energy and a true embodied woman? That's what we're going to talk about. So stay with me if this is something you're interested in, because I'm going to put another angle onto the whole topic of dark feminine energy. So this is a topic that is most spreaded in today's YouTube and TikTok world, mostly covered by women that are in the coaching industry and also in spiritual concepts. So we have to be careful, because there is a lot of seduction and being mysterious. So if you are interested in how to seduce, how to be mysterious, we have to be sensitive to the energy where this is actually coming from, because there can be a sense of performance-based mysteriosity. And I want to give you an overview I created to have like a better feeling, because in this video, try to stay with me in sensing and feeling, and try to get away of the conceptualizing of what it is, how to be this way, because this is actually where it starts. If we try to learn something which is mind-based, to coming to embodying something which is integrated in the system, in your nervous system. So there's a huge difference. If we look on false dark feminine energy, which can also be related to ego-based or wounded, there is a sense of that this woman wants to be magnetic. Like there's a desire, there's already a sense of controlling, which again is just another layer of ego, of the fear of letting go, of being vulnerable. So there's also seduction is used to play with my senses, can also be related to using my body to get some kind of attention in a more desperate way. It is more like based on a low self-worth way, and it creates more of a picture. So all these traits, you can feel it in the essence, it's more performance driven. You try to create a certain picture of yourself. And in this energy, the shadow is not integrated. What do I mean with the shadow is not integrated? You as a woman, you have traits and you have areas within you that are in the shadow, that are not in the known. So that is shadow work. Integrated shadow, so the parts within you that you have suppressed or denied, which can be, for example, people-pleasing. You don't speak your truth. You deny certain traits within yourself because they are not allowed in the people around you. And that is shadow work. You become aware of those parts when you tend to speak out of a victim mentality, when you deny something within yourself. Shadow work reveals these parts and you integrate them. That's why a woman that has integrated her shadows, and that is the main sentence from dark feminine energy, she doesn't have to try. Dark feminine energy is a natural result of the shadow work she has done. If you integrate your shadows, you automatically become mysterious, because there's something about you that cannot be named. There's something magnetic about you which is not really definable from the conceptual mind, but more from an energetic point. And that is dark feminine energy. It is more coming from an energetically field. And some of these coaches have also used some nice examples like Angelina Jolie, which again, if we are looking from an energetic perspective, yes, she has that aura. She is embodying it, but not because she studied it, but because she learned to integrate her shadows. So a woman that knows her dark sides, her deeper parts, her wounded parts, and have integrated them, she is already in her dark feminine energy. Because in that energy, she represents integrity, safety, and groundedness. So there is no desire to seduce. Seduction is more like a byproduct, because there's an aura that is like so nice and beautiful and magnetic. So she's not performing, she is. There is a huge difference in speaking out of the shadow, talking out of a wound, or speaking in the wound, speaking in the shadow. While speaking out of the shadow, which can also be said, you are more speaking out of your pain, is still you being in a victim mentality, talking out of the pain, while talking out of the pain means you have already integrated these parts. You already know what it means to know your shadows, to really look at them and to feel them, to live through them. So a huge part of living in an integrated energy, which means you can see both sides within you, the light and the dark. It's duality. And that is what makes a woman, because she knows both sides, centered in herself. There's no bouncing in between. She can look at both sides and know her worth. So her whole identity, her energy field, is not really coming out of an layer, out of performance, of playing with her energy. She doesn't have the need to do that. She simply is. She's the embodiment of that. And you can feel that in woman's energy. It's more of a energy that is more grounded, while being in that energy that wants to be seen, that wants to use her body. Yes, it can be more playful, but again, be sensitive to the energy. Is it misusing the body? Is it coming out of enjoyment of really being in my worth? Because if you are in your worth, if you're really, really grounded, there's no desire to seduce or to be perceived in a certain way. You simply are. You don't get your validation from external circumstances. You get it from within, and you can feel that. So, on the other side, I want you to look at the embodied dark feminine energy, which is more dense. And what do I mean with it's more dense? You can feel it. It is more stable. It is more grounded and nurtured in a way that makes you feel, oh wow, she really stands in her ground. It's not loud, it's not harsh, it's very clear, and it's very direct in a way that makes you perceive her as, okay, she knows who she is. She knows her dark sides and also her light side, and that's why she can be so relaxed within herself. She does not have the need to be understood from the outside. So she is very regulated in herself and therefore is not reactive to the outside world. She finds her own worth within her. So again, dark feminine energy has a lot to do with shadow work. And shadow work is the integration of the denied parts, of the parts you have suppressed. And that can be inherent. Imagine you're a woman and you were never allowed to speak up for yourself. Or let's say anger was suppressed in your family. Those can be shadow parts. What happens to parts within yourself that you don't acknowledge and integrate in a healthy way? Imagine pushing down a balloon underwater, and it's just a matter of time. Energy never goes away. Energy finds its way, either constructive in a healthy way or in a way that is very unhealthy, and you might create some coping mechanism. So also here, the groundedness, the safety from within, the kind of mysterious way is some kind of an energy that has to do with your nervous system. I already made a video about nervous system, so look at this video because it helps you to understand where the safety comes from within. And when you integrate and work with your shadows, you really become aware of the parts that have been suppressed and pushed down for a long time. And this is the work that takes time, connectedness, and inner presence. So with this video, I want you to be aware. You don't have to practice how to be seductive. You don't have to learn how to be mysterious in order for you to stack some boundaries. No. This is not the approach, because this is a natural byproduct when you really go within, when you stay with yourself. Because when you stay with yourself, when you being fully present, you trust yourself and you regulate yourself in a healthy way. There's no need to perform. There's no need to have any type of role in your outside, creating an identity in order to please other people. And those parts within you that still have that desire, you can look at them. Are you creating? Are you desiring that out of the space of unworthiness, of the desire of being seen, of being worthy? Because in most women, when we really deeply look closely, there is just this fear of being vulnerable. So I better show off in a way that I'm seductive and sexy and sexualize my body, instead of staying soft and vulnerable, because there's still this tiny energy in society that views this softness and this vulnerability at some kind of weakness. But it is changing. It is changing through shadow work, through inner work, in the collective and in the individual. So I invite you to be very clear if this is something you're looking for. Ask yourself, out of which desire is this created? It is out of a low self-worth? Are there still wounds within me? I don't maybe feel seen from the masculine? Or am I really grounded? Have I faced these deep wounded parts within myself? Can I look at them with empathy and love and still remain soft within? Because that is true strength. Staying vulnerable and just stay present. That's why I keep saying stay with me, because it's more like an energetic state. Stay with me in this field, in this energy room. So I encourage you to look deeply from which angle you desire to embody certain parts, and be very honest with you about that, because that is ultimately what will set you free. Have a beautiful day.